This is the video on mixing tracks with different tempos. So the problem is, if you have different tempos, how do you record them separately and glue them together? Well, first you do record them separately. The example we're going to use here is a set we call the Merrily Dance. The set, it consists of Merrily Dance the Quaker's Wife, Mo Gillymore, and Itchy Fingers. We're going to show you how we mix together Mo Gillymore and Itchy Fingers. You can see the variation in the tracks, right? 102, 50, 82. So what we're going to do is we've provided with you in the sample file a sample of the end of Mo Gillymore and the beginning of Itchy Fingers. What we're going to do first is we're going to listen to the track so you can see what it sounds like when it gets all mixed together. So we're going to go into Audacity. We're going to do a file, open, and we're going to go to the final mixdown area for this. And here's our final WAV file. That's not the final, but it's as close as we're going to get right now. So there's the whole thing. You can see from the thickness of the sound, because of the different tracks, there are no drums when we're playing Mo Gillymore, which is here in the middle. So you can see it's less active. So right down here is the end of it. So here we go. So how do you do this? Well, what you basically do is you take both of the tracks, lay them on top of each other, and then cross-fade between them. In fact, I think you can see where we do the crossfade. I just was looking at this earlier, right here, because you can see that the level changes on the audio. So we're switching from one recording to the other. But if we do it right, you're not even going to notice it. There it goes again. Try to listen to it. You'll hear this. You'll hear the volume increase around here, slightly. Okay, so next, I'm going to close this. So now that's what it's going to sound like. Save changes. No. So now what we're going to do is go to our sample project and go and bring in, we're going to import the two audio tracks that we have set up for this. Go back to Quick Access. We're going to go to the tutorial, and we put them here. We put them with the same name so you kind of get an idea. Now, we're going to the ending of Mo Gillymore, so we'll put that in first. Import. Itchy Fingers. So here are the two tracks. And as I said, if I'm not mistaken, the first one, Mo Gillymore, was recorded at 50, and the other one at 82. So now we have the two tracks in front of us. What we need to do is try to figure out where we want to cut these together. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this up a little bit so I can see a little bit better. I'm going to look for the inflection points where the notes change. So let's solo the top one. I shouldn't say inflection points, but the point at which it changes. That's right. There it is right there. So there's the end of the first cut. Right? Let's try it again. You see that we hold it for 2 seconds after that cut, and then it gets a little ragged. So we're going to have to make our change somewhere in here. Let's go see where we're going to cut in on the other one. Let's solo that guy. There it is right there. Right there, there's the note. Da, 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 da. Okay? So there's the note right there. All right. So the question is, where do we cut them? So in order to do that, what I did was I brought in a click track. As we mentioned, Mo Gillimore was played at 50. So I'm going to create a click track in here for 50. So tracks, add new, mono track, down here at the bottom. I'm only going to have to generate a little bit of a click track to get the, so here's 50, right? How many measures? 4 bars. I could probably go with 3 bars. I don't even need a big one. And there it is. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to bring it up. Bring it all the way up here to the top. Turn this off. And I'm going to put this on the first where the tune transitions from one to the other. I remember this is my point, right? I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn on the click track. So the question is, where do you want it to cut in? So if I cut it in here, it might be too early, right? Because that's only one of the beats away. I'm going to cut it in here at the second one, which is where we did it when we actually recorded the, when we actually mixed it. All right. So I'm going to do it here. But again, I'm okay here, but then I get some noise down here. It starts changing. So I want to get the crossfade done in here somewhere. All right, so now my second cut, let's go back to my second cut. That's transitioning somewhere in here. I'm going to move this down. I want to make sure that this hits on that where it's supposed to. So here we go. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now that I have it lined up, I'm going to null it. I'm going to solo these two guys. Here's my point where I'm coming in, right? There's 9. So what I'm going to do, now here's the part that I'm going to say, all right, I want to crossfade these two guys right across here. So I'm going to pick up, here's my note from Mo Gillimore, then the hold, and we're going to fade across to this guy while I'm in that hold. All right? So, effect, crossfade tracks, okay? And you'll see that it did it. Now, I got to clean off those tails of everything else. So I'm going to plus, I'm going to come in here, and I can use the arrow key on my keyboard to get me close. Control I. I'm going to generate silence here. Generate silence. I don't want to cut it. I don't need to cut it. I'm going to come over here. Control I. Generate silence. And now you see that we have our cut. Let's listen. Again. Now you do hear a little slight audio increase as I go to this second track. So I'm going to bring down that second track a little bit. In fact, I'm going to bring it down to -2. Let's listen again. Still hear some artifacts, but with the drums in there and everything, it's not going to make a difference. So there you have it. Now I've crossfaded these two tracks, and I would add my drums and all my other stuff underneath here. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm not going to save this. File, close. No. File, open. Let's go back to Quick Access. CD. There's the Merrily set. And I'm going to show you what it all looked like when I did my mix. Here's my mix. Here's my audio project. So you can see here, this is the actual project itself. Here's my drones at the top. Here's my snare drums, my bass drum. Notice it says merry snare, merry bass. And here's my pipes, right? There's the pipes. Right? Then, here's my crossfade between Merrily Danced and Itchy. There's my pipes coming into Mo Gillimore. Now here's my transition between Mo Gillimore right? So you get the idea. All of that is mixed together into one track.